Hello and welcome to the Boro Breakdown podcast, the Lowdown show on George Edmundson, Boro's brand new centre back. George has joined us from Ipswich Town on a season-long loan, and Middlesbrough maybe have a hint to potentially buy him. Kieran Scott this week mentioned in his transfer roundup interview that Middlesbrough are in a very, very good position with George if the deal this year goes very, very well. So I think, is he hinting? I think he is. George has got over 200 appearances in league football. And he's all started off at Oldham Athletic, and then he went on loan to Ramsbottom United, Alfred Town, and AFC Clyde in non-league. He then made the move to Rangers, which didn't really go particularly well, and then moved to Derby on loan. And then finally, he was coined at Ipswich Town in 2021. He's got a couple of good accolades, though. He was in the EFL Team of the Season for League Two in 2018-2019. He was Oldham's Athletics Player of the Year as well that season too. He's also played a pivotal role for Ipswich on and off the pitch, and more noticeably, appreciate that how got promoted last year. But he also won the EFL Player in the Community Award in 2023. His nickname is the Fridge. That is because its physicality and defensive presence is very, very strong and known for his tough tackling. And also he's regarded as a very vocal figure on and off the pitch. And that's echoed as well by his managers that he's worked under. Kieran McKenna said he's a leader at the back, very vocal and does a great job organising the defence. Stephen Gerrard, who brought him to Rangers, said George is a no-nonsense defender. He's brave, strong, and brings real physical presence to the team. We've seen his leadership qualities both on and off the pitch. And then finally, Michael Carrick said that George, meanwhile, arrives with great experience. We like to have people in the dressing room who have sampled the experience and know what it feels like to win promotion. He obviously did that last season. The situation with defenders, with Dale and Dara being out for a little period of time, we just needed to feel like we balanced things off a little bit. And also, Mike Carrick was very pivotal at being friends with Kieran McKenna, the Ipswich boss, in bringing him in. But we've got a bit of a fan reaction as well. And Rob has said that he's 100% committed to every challenge. A solid sign, and hope he does really well. Seems like a very nice bloke, but hasn't played that often in the last year. However, when called upon, he puts in a man-of-the-match performance. The second one from Charlton says, great guy, was a popular man amongst players and fans. He was a bit unlucky getting an injury in League One and lost his starting place. McKenna's always trusted him against teams with pace up top, and I really hope he does well with you, and I think he will. And the final one as well is from Katie, and she says, most level-headed defender I've seen come through to Town, and the difference he will make, providing you make sure he stays fit and get the game time he deserves. So what do we think about him then most importantly? I think we've got a really good addition here. To be honest, I'm quite happy with it. I think there's a couple of reasons why. It's a great depth signing for us. He's got a really good experience. And I think when you look at the likes of Darren Lenihan, Dale Fry, Matt Clark, Luke Ayling that can play there, and now George Edmundson, I think we've got enough people there in the team to have a really good and strong back line if we need to. I think there's some things that I like about him as well. It's called the non-trackables, really, which I like to call it. It's that great leadership on and off the pitch. He's got that community award, but also it's been mentioned by his previous managers. And been watching him very, very vocal as a defender. And also to have that experience as well, I think is really good for the young squad that we currently have to help have those mentors and leaders to really develop the squad. Boro obviously having that set up deal next year is really promising, potentially bringing him in. But when I watch him and when I get a bit more analysis on him, I think he's a bit of a header and kicker defender, in my opinion. He's not really the quickest, although he is very, very good. He is reasonably quite good with people with pace because of his strong position. He gets in the right areas, and people who get in the right areas normally tend to have good interceptions, good tackling. He does average about 2.5 tackles a game, with pairing about 1.5 interceptions as well. When we're looking at his aerial duels, he's quite strong there as well. And I think that's where he will be more of a danger for the opposition teams as well, because he's good in the box, big, strong physical presence, and likes to put his body about a bit as well. So I think that's really promising. But in terms of his best strength for me is actually his progressive passing. I think for me, when I was watching him, he was brilliant at switching the ball with his right foot and lofting a 30, 40-yard pass to the winger on the left and right-hand side. And that's really pivotal for when you watch how Middlesbrough play. When you're seeing teams playing this low block now, we need someone who can switch the play more quickly to get a team out of shape, to break them down, to create the space that you need, and then trying to get into those good areas as well. And also, since Middlesbrough are a very set-piece team now, I think that, there's nothing wrong with having a bit more bodies in the squad as well. So when the corner comes in, you've not got Matt Clark's header in there. You've also got George Edmundson coming in too. So to round off then, how good of a deal is it for Middlesbrough? I actually think it's a promising deal. If George comes to the club and does really well, and given that Rav van den Berg is getting a lot of attention at the moment, Dale Fry could potentially be a person that might be at the end of the road. Daryl Enahan will always get the attention that he deserves especially from Chris Wilder at Sheffield United as well. And Matt Clark has been performing really well so far this season, so it's only a matter of time until his name gets noticed, right? Having a really good leader in the group as well is really promising for me as well, because we need to have that more experience. We have a really young squad. We need to add that experience in there to make sure that when things will go a little bit pear-shaped, you have the experience there to get yourselves out of it and to be in a really good and get yourself out and get in a really good moment as well. And I think that's what he'll definitely bring, those leadership, really good passing qualities. Defensively, I think he's relatively quite strong due to his strong positioning. I don't think he's as quick, to be honest. Although he's okay, and the Ipswich fans have said that he's quite good against quick centre backs. His position have held us well, but when his position's slightly off, I think he's in a bit of trouble, to be honest. So just something to keep an eye out when he's in defence. But also one final thing, just to mention before we move on to the ratings and where do we think he's going to play and if he's going to play at all. I think that the one another key takeout is to have that he has the ability to play in a back three when Boro play in that possession. So Ipswich, if he's watched them play, they would like to shift into a back three formation through that 3-2-5 or that 4-2-4. He's very adaptable and can play the ball outside out the box, good with his feet, and that is really beneficial as well for us to have it. But in terms of will he play, will he not play? Given the amount of injuries we have, I can't see why he wouldn't play, to be honest. I think when you're looking at Matt Clark right now, he needs Rav van den Berg. If Rav's fit, I think they're your natural first two centre-backs. They're the first two names on the sheet, in my opinion. And then secondly, if someone gets injured, knowing that Boro's history with current injuries, he's going to get time, he's going to get minutes, but more importantly, he's going to help the squad in the changing room as well and on the training field as well to really galvanize the group to get promoted this season. I think that's a really good thing and good trait to have. So in terms of rating, then where does he stack up? Do we think it's a good deal? Do we think it's a bad deal? Do we think it's an all right deal? Do we think it's a waste of money? Personally, for me, 2.5 to 3 out of 5, to be honest. A good sign, a good addition, good leadership. You can't beat any good bit of leadership from a group like that. And given that he's on a season-long loan, and potentially we're setting ourselves up for success. If it's a good deal, we can get him on a buy in the summer. I think that's a good deal all around for us right now. And to be honest, we need the depth at centre half because we just don't have it with Dale Fry and Daryl Enahan not really having an exact date and coming back. We don't know how long these guys are going to be out for. We still don't know about Tommy Smith yet and when he's going to come back. And so we're quite light in the defence at the moment, and we need to balance it like Mike Carrick alluded to. And I think it's a good deal all around. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's a good signing? I thought he was a good passer. I thought he was a good defender. But can we add more? Do we need more? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. But for right now, this has been the Boro Breakdown podcast, and that was like a George Edmundson chatter in a pod. Up the Boro Breakdown.